Well, I have my official ticket. Let's see what Downton the exhibition has to offer.
It is my happy duty to welcome you to the world of Downton Abbey. You will be given the opportunity to discover both its public and its private faces.
Everything's the same dimensions. It's all the same. It's making me so nostalgic. All my jelly molds. It's all there.
You'll find there's never a dull moment in this house.
This is Mrs. Patmore here. She's lost her head, unfortunately, but that's the only time she's quiet, I think, isn't it? Bless her.
For heaven's sake, get a move on, girl, before they get back from church.
This is exactly how all of the place settings should be sat. 4 glasses and too many knives and forks to know what to do with, really.
Everything I read on my desk were authentic sort of bills from 1923 or something like that. So the attention to detail is fantastic. For me, all the best scenes were shot in here because this is when you got to be personal and private, and we had those private moments. So there was the
proposal?
Oh, the proposal.
Of course I'll marry you, you old booby. I thought you'd never ask.
I really feel like if you watch the show, to come to these sets is so exciting because it's exactly the same as what you've seen on TV.
One of the real joys of the job was the costumes. And it's really special to see them in this context.
Heavens, we are quite a party.
This part to about here is all one piece of lace, which is very, very expensive antique lace, I was told when I was wearing it.
There's lots for the kids to do with opening drawers and pressing buttons and listening to music and making phone calls. People will be excited to see it.
Experience the history, the fashion, the house.
Welcome to Downton.
Downton Abbey, the exhibition.
Wow, guys, it's so beautiful. And look who we're here with, the beautiful Michelle Dockery. Yeah. I got the chance to go to the exhibition, and it was so amazing, especially as a fan of Downton. You really feel like you're transported. And I saw you there on Friday, and you were doing a little shopping in the souvenir shop, which is awesome.
The souvenir shop is brilliant. You can get so many things, from the replicas from the show to little teddies that are like Pharaoh the dog. You know, I got one for my niece. It was brilliant. But the exhibition it's amazing, and it was incredibly nostalgic for us walking through those doors and into what was our world for 6 years working on that show. And I think the fans will feel the same. And just the attention to detail, and everything is there. From the telegrams that were written, that we used as props, to 56 costumes over the 6 years. It's incredible.
What was your favorite? So when you first walk in, you know, you see the Downton kitchen, and then you look right across the hall and exactly where you think the room would be where they used to eat, where Carson and the crew used to sit down and eat. It's right there. How did you feel walking through all of that? Did it really bring you back to the set and the time you had there?
It really did, and was just for a second I thought I was on the set, and then, you know, and then had to remind myself I was actually in New York City. It really is like straight from the set or from Highclere Castle, and Mary's bedroom for me was very emotional walking into that, and you know, there was so much that happened, you know, for me in her bedroom, including an incident with a Turkish diplomat. In fact, my underwear is on display. You could see it in that video. So you can see Lady Mary's underwear. It's very nice.
Yeah, and where Lady Mary used to sit, and Anna used to brush her hair and get her ready for bed, or get her ready for an event.
And all of the props there, the mirror, the brush that she used to brush Mary's hair with. I mean, every single thing is there. Nothing has been replaced by something similar. It's all, they've just shipped everything. So it's a really, really incredible exhibition.
Yeah, was it cool? So did you go this weekend and surprise some people at the exhibit?
I did, yeah. I was asked to go down there and just surprise some fans on Saturday. So it was great. And there were some people having like an old-fashioned photograph taken. You can like get these old-fashioned pictures done in a sort of sepia, you know, filter. And I just snuck into the picture, and they did. It took them a while to actually realise. I felt terrible, actually. I gave them such a shock. But it was packed, and the line is going right around the building. I mean, America just embraced our show so much. I mean, it really kind of did become its most successful, really, when America, seemed to fall in love with it. So it almost feels like it's at home here.
Lady Mary photobomb would be like the best thing ever to experience at the Downton exhibit.
That's basically what I did, yeah.
Does it surprise you? Did it surprise you at the moment, when Downton aired in the US and it had this humongous fan base right off the bat? Did you expect that?
Not at all. I mean, you only hope that if you're making a show in the UK that your country enjoys it and that it's a success there. But it was pretty much overnight when the show started airing in America. It was just huge, and we couldn't go anywhere without being recognised in New York, and even now, I every now and then on my Instagram tags, like at Halloween, something pops up and someone was dressed up as Mary at Halloween. I mean, it seems to. There is still such a love for the show, and which is why the exhibition. It's only right that it's here. Yeah.
And perfect for the holiday season.
Yeah.
If only you guys can act out a holiday episode for us while we're at the exhibit, it would be perfect.
That's true.
So you mentioned dress up. You got to wear the most exquisite costumes, hair pieces, jewelry.
Yep.
What was it like every day to put on these amazing costumes? Did you feel... I would feel special if I got to wear some of this stuff.
A lot of what you see in the show are original pieces that have been repaired or, elaborated on. We had two incredibly talented costume designers on the show, Anna Scott Robbins and Caroline McCall, it was outstanding what they did, and the detail. I mean, the beading of this is like hand beaded. And you had to be really careful with things like, the jewellery. I had a habit of like playing with the necklaces, and there was this one incident when I was sat at doing a dining room scene, and I was just, fiddling with the necklace, and it broke, and the beads just completely fell off. And of course, you can't. We couldn't carry on the scene because for continuity. So we had to wait like 15 minutes while they pieced it back together. I felt terrible. But it was, and seeing at the exhibition, seeing the costumes over the 6 years and how the fashion changed. And we were in corsets in the first episode. And by the end, we were into the 20s era. And even for me, I've been part of it for 6 years, but to actually see it all under one roof was incredible. But I loved those costumes and that wig, actually. That was a wig.
Oh, it
wasn't
was?
my hair. Well, funny enough, I got my hair cut in the fourth season, into a bob, but Julian wasn't ready for Mary to have a bob. So then we had to put a hairpiece in to make my hair longer again. And then it grew back, and then he decided he wanted her to have a bob. So eventually we just went with a wig. Yeah.
And now it's been 2 years since Downton aired. So when you got back together, I know Alan was there and Joanne at the exhibit on Friday, the opening. How does it feel to see? Because I'm sure you guys are like a family.
Yeah, and we still see quite a lot of each other now. Laura and I are very close. She's one of my best mates, and Alan. So we see a lot of each other, but some people you don't get to see as much, and it was like a reunion. Like, I hadn't seen Leslie, Mrs. Patmore, in a long time, and it was just so good to all get back together and celebrate the show and the exhibition.
So speaking of getting back together, I know you've gotten this question a lot because all of us fans are waiting for a Downton movie, right, guys? We need it. Although Julian kind of ended it for us on a happy note, as he says he likes to do. So if there is a movie, what do you even expect to happen, or what would you like to see Mary do? Or
Well, firstly, I don't think there's a day that goes by without someone asking me if there's going to be a film, whether it be an interview or just someone on the street who says when is the movie going to happen. So I think until we do one, people aren't going to shut up.
As well.
But it's I mean the cast it's a big ensemble. You know, there are 15 to 18 strong cast members. It is difficult to get everyone together at the same time, you know, due to the success of the show. Everyone's doing other things. But I'm really hopeful that something will happen. I can't really tell you any more than that.
Oh man, there's no script ideas. I can help you write a script. I mean, it could really come along well. But what did you learn about yourself and your acting through playing someone like Mary? Right. Because you seem very different from Mary in real life, which could be a good or a bad thing.
She's, I mean, I loved her. I fell in love with the character when I first read the script and read for the part. There's just something very still about her and just... I mean, just so far from who I am and her upbringing and everything. So it was a challenge for me at first. Even the accent, you know, we had dialect coaching, especially in that first season, me and the sisters. But I loved her. I loved playing her, and she's a deeply complex woman, which I think for a period drama felt quite modern to people, and that you could somehow connect with her, even though she was an aristocrat born in, you know, the late 1800s. I loved playing her journey, that where the character, you know, she started out as this young, arrogant eldest sister of the family, who then became, you know, estate manager, and obviously went through heartache in her journey, and it was just amazing to play her and to see where the story would take it each season. And I mean, after the third series, when we devastated everyone by Matthew dying at the end of that season, it really sort of changed the course of the show. I mean, that was something we wasn't expecting. But we all had the option to finish, because we all signed up for 3 years, and everyone had the option either to stay or go. And of course, you know, not everyone wants to continue with a show, and Dan and Jess decided to go. And sometimes I wonder how that journey would have been different had Dan not have left and gone off to do all the other brilliant things that he's done. But it's that's what's so brilliant about a series, is that you can... It's over such a long space of time that the writers can really, you know, explore so many different avenues for the characters. It's why I love doing television.
Yeah, did you expect people to stick with it after Matthew died? Because a lot of people were saying,
worried.
Oh my gosh.
We were really worried.
I think you guys did amazing.
But of course, I think that people were intrigued to see, you know, what would happen next for Mary, and you know, that for someone like her, you know, this what seemed to be a perfect scenario, you know, that suddenly life can take different turns, and it was just wonderful to play her, and I miss her, actually. I miss playing her.
I miss her too. And I miss her love escapades and all of that. That was exciting too, because after Matthew died, we got to kind of go back to Mary trying to find love again.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, you know, it was great. I got to play with some really lovely, handsome actors for the next 4 years after that. But I loved her complexity, and just that she could be she was so unapologetic as well with her manner, and, you know, you didn't always like her. And I love characters like that. They don't have to be likable all the time. And Julian just had he has such a talent for writing, you know, for going much further, so that the characters aren't just two-dimensional characters, especially female parts, you know, that it goes way deeper and more truthful, actually, of the way women are, you know.
Your portrayal of her got you Emmy nominations and Golden Globe nominations, which deserves a round of applause, because you were so fantastic in this role.
Thank you.
And it's brought you a lot of cool new gigs, and I know we're going to play a trailer for one of your upcoming ones, if you guys have it ready.
There's 83 good men. Gone in less than 5 minutes.
It's a fearful thing to love what death can touch.
Where are all the men at?
Dead. Mine took them. All of them.
How has the town fared without any men around?
Someone's got to look after things around here.
A town full of ladies. Bang, bang. It's ripe fruit for the wicked. Bang, bang.
Frank Griffin's been looking for Roy Good.
He's going to kill anyone that Roy Good loves or cares about.
The good people of Creed let them walk their streets. Now they don't have no streets.
When he finds out who's living here,
God help you folks.
Mister, we're a lot fucking stronger than you think we are.
there's something I gotta finish. I'm bad luck.
We have that in common then.
This here's the land of the blade and the rough. It's godless country.
To shoot you down.
Let's all talk about this like civilized folks.
Sure, come on in.
I suggest we all first lower our weapons.
Guys, doesn't that look amazing? Very different than Downton. Very different. We're in an all-women's kind of town where there's not too many men, and I like shows like that.
Yeah, it's an authentic Western in many ways. It's got all of those classic things that you would expect from a Western, but it's a story that hasn't been told. And these towns in which all of the men had died were common in those times. And so Griffin, played by Jeff Daniels, is this. He's terrorizing the towns, trying to find Roy Good, played by Jack O'Connell, and so the women have to come together to protect themselves. So it's a Western that people would never have seen before. You know, it's really Netflix are kind of describing it as sort of turning the genre on its head, and life was in those times, you know, for these women a hard scrabble. You know, they were making every day trying to make something out of nothing, and they were tough, extremely tough women. And Alice, who I play, originally was meant to marry the son of her father's business partner. You know, her life would have been quite different. And she, at 21, by the time she was 21, she was widowed. And so her life didn't turn out quite the way she was expecting. But it's just an incredible piece of cinematography as well. I mean, we saw both episodes last night on a cinema screen, which is it feels like that's how it should be watched, or at least on a bigger screen you can find. Actually, it's not something you should watch on your iPhone. Because the cinematographer Stephen Meisler is just, what he's done with it is absolutely incredible, and all of the crew and creatives. So it's really exciting, and it airs on Wednesday. It comes out on Wednesday. Yeah.
So this is different for you, though, because usually, you know, Downton fans would get the chance to watch an episode and you'd have to wait for the next episode. But Netflix kind of delivers all the goods at once. Yeah. Are you a binge watcher yourself? Are you into that?
It depends what it is. I mean, people can see this however they want, but I don't actually think this is a binger. I think it's something to savor, and it's a lot. It's a lot to binge on. You know, you have to kind of, I mean, you can see there's so much brutality in it as well. It's and just to savor the beauty of it as well, the work that's gone into it. But people can watch it however way they want. I mean, but I the last thing I binged on was The Crown, which I loved so much. I thought it was absolutely amazing.
Now you're on Netflix with The Crown. I mean, you're making your moves. What is it about your character, Alice, that you know, either you related to a little bit or you took away something else from playing Lady Mary that you brought into this? Because it's a totally different character.
Well, I've been doing a show on TNT called Good Behaviour, which is airing currently. So I'd gone from Downton into something very modern, contemporary. You know, I got to wear jeans for a change.
Letty's not like Lady Mary.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've been doing that for 6 months, and then Godless came along, and as soon as I walked into the costume fitting, I realised the obsession that I've developed for period costume, because I actually couldn't wait to get back into this, you know, all the clothes from that time. So, I mean, for me, I wasn't really out to do something vastly different from Mary. I mean, I was just hopeful that I would, you know, get another job, actually. But to work with, you know, great people and work on great scripts, and Good Behaviour and Godless, I've been so fortunate to go from playing Mary to playing another two amazing characters. I've loved just playing such a variation of women.
What was it like being in? They're kind of bringing back the Western, which I'm so excited about because I'm a huge fan of Westerns myself. What was it like being in that world? What was the set like?
It was like you were there. I mean, it was like being transported back to that time. And Alice's ranch was just, it's beautiful. The setting is absolutely beautiful. And so at times we would have lightning delays where you have to shut down and you can't, you know, for safety reasons, you have to stop filming. And I would sit with some of the crew on Alice's porch and watch the storms rolling in. I mean, you've never seen anything. I mean, if any of you have been to New Mexico or from there, I'm sure you know, but it's a magical place. And with Godless, like is so common with a Western, is that mixture of brutality against the beautiful surroundings and the animals as well. I mean, there's so much of it is about the horses, actually. There's a whole story about the horses. And it was just magical, actually, being there. And the town of La Belle was built from scratch. And it was like you were there. It was amazing. And I got to do lots of hiking and traveling while I was there. Went up to Colorado and Arizona, and so I got to see some really beautiful parts of America.
Exploring the States. I haven't even been to those places. So, so what about this show do you think people are really gonna, get into? Because it's a limited series, so I think it's 7 episodes.
Yeah, it's just 7, unfortunately.
And now people are gonna be like, season 2 when it's over, because I've seen the first 2 episodes and they are extraordinary.
People are already saying that, actually. Yeah. And we jump at the chance. I mean, us girls, the ladies of La Belle, who you're all going to fall in love with, we have this chain text thing, all 10 of us. And I wake up some days with like 78 text messages on my phone. We've got so close working together on this. Like I was saying, it's something very. It's not your average Western, obviously, because there's far more women involved in the narrative. And just visually as well, it is absolutely stunning. Jeff Daniels is incredible. He is terrifying. And I've never seen him play a role like it before. Jack O'Connell is incredible. It's an amazing cast. And Merritt Weaver is, for me, she takes my breath away. She is absolutely amazing as Mary Agnes. So it has, I think people will really enjoy it and really take the characters to their hearts. I think there's a sort of domestic feel to it as well, like what it would have been like to live in those times. That sense of longing. Ultimately everyone is alone, and this sort of longing for a partner. It's just, I think people will really love the characters.
Well, I have to say, you have some great projects out right now. You mentioned Good Behavior before, and you have this, and the Downton exhibit, and you're in network on stage, and so congrats on all your success.
Thank
and
you.
we love seeing you in projects. So this is out Wednesday, Godless,
Wednesday.
and then Downton, the exhibit is actually running now, I think through the end of January in New York. So if you guys are fans, which you probably are, go check it out. Maybe she'll surprise you with a photobomb. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Fun.